Hi, this is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a TI is. If you like my video, please give it a thumbs up. If you like my channel, please subscribe. The topic I'm going to talk to you today about is ooh, this light is bright. Is the Real Housewives of Atlanta season finale, which is really episode 18. Uh, no, episode 17, which really episode 17 season finale. It started off with Kandi and with Kandi driving in the car with Blaze. She was taking Blaze somewhere, and then and then it switched to Kenya. Uh, no, it switched to it switched to switched to Kenya talking to a business partner on the phone, and she was asking her how was everything going, and she asked her was the products in yet, and Kenya's partner, Kenya's assistant told her that everything was in, and stuff like that, and all her products was in, and all her products was in, and stuff like that. And Kenya said, oh, good, okay. And then Kenya said in her confessional, no product, no business. And she said she had to pay extra for shipping and stuff. Shipping and stuff. Yeah, she said she had to pay extra for shipping and stuff. Uh, uh, just to get her grand opening going on. And then after that, they showed Sheree talking to her assistant too, and she was telling the assistant what about the pieces, and she was saying, well, yeah, she got a few pieces in, but it's not enough, and she hadn't looked at the pieces yet. And she was saying, well, she only had a few of them, and she was saying, telling the assistant that she needed at least 14 to 15 pieces in order to have a fashion show. And the assistant assured Sheree everything was going to be okay, and she was on it. And Sheree said, okay. And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene is with Drew and her mom, and Drew was telling her mom that the doctor said she's doing good, her progress is going well, but she's overcompensating, trying to get her leg back to normal, and she's hindering her progress, so she needs to slow down. And she was saying, I'm trying to do that, I'm trying to do that. And then it switched to the next scene where let's switch to the next scene. Where Marlo was taking the boys to visit Sonia and Ross, and Marla was telling the guys, I think the name is Michael and William, how to act at Sonia's house. They got to be young men. They can't be rowdy and doing this and doing that. And they said okay. And then when they got there, Sonia said, "Y'all gonna go with Ross. Y'all gonna work with Ross. Y'all gonna change tires and the oil with Ross with the cars outside. Me and Marla gonna be up in here." So next thing you know, Ross brought out some uniforms that look like mechanic uniforms, and he asked the boys to wear them. And so he told Michael and William that don't be scared to put the oil in the car and change the car. And I think it was the Michael and William time, but they wanted to do that car, and he said no, that's Sonia's car. And so he was saying that that he didn't know how to change no oil change the tire either, and until his stepfather came along, because he said he wouldn't know nothing if he hadn't been for his stepfather. So I guess his real father wasn't around. That's what Ross was saying. And then it showed a scene with Marlo and Sonia talking, and Marlo was telling Sonia about how it's hard for her with those boys, and she's glad that she had the boys with her, and she said because the boys need a man figure around, not her all the time, and she trying to teach them to be young men, because she don't want them to go the other way. And then after that, Sonia told Marlo that she asked Marla how she was doing. She said she was doing all right, and she was saying she was just so surprised that at the dinner when they was in Jamaica, how Kenya treated her. And she said, I've been trying to tell you about Kenya. I've been trying to tell you about Kenya. And then she said, well, what's going on with your progress with you and Ross? She said, well, after me and Ross discussed a couple of things and stuff, I decided to get my IUD taken out, I'm gonna try. Me and Ross are gonna try to have a kid again and stuff like that. And they showed a picture of her going to Dr. Jackie Sonia, and then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was with Marlo going to the airport to pick up her mom. Marlo said she had flew her mom into town, just to get to know her mom and stuff, and she wanted to connect with her mother again. And then she asked her mom. She said, "Mom, what happened to the $3,000 teeth I bought you?" She said, "Well, I asked the dentures I bought you." She said, She said, "Well, I accidentally lost them." I don't think she accidentally lost them. A whole lot of people don't think she accidentally lost them. A lot of people think that she sold them teeth so her and her boyfriend could go out and be drugging and stuff like that. But this is a little side note. I know how those dentures are. If you already have some kind of gum disease or periodontal disease, and you get those and you get those dentures, and honey child, that wire on the back of them dentures, sometimes they'll hurt your gums and stuff. So I see why Marlo's mama was taking those dentures in and out, in and out. I mean, I had to wind up throwing away mine too after my new dentist told me they wasn't no more good, and waiting for the other ones. But anyway, that was just a side note. Back to the show. And then Marlo took her mom shopping, and she said her mom liked to buy expensive things and stuff. And then she was asking her mama, how did she like that? And it was a nice certain dress her mama wore. And then they got to talking inside the store, and Marlo was telling her mama that that she really hurted her when she was a child, and she wanted her mama, but her mama was around. And then Marlo's mom was telling her that she had her at a very young age, and she didn't know how to take care of no kids and stuff. And then after that, it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was with Sheree. The next scene was Sheree going to the event, and she had went to the event to check out everything to see what was going on. Her and Rohan, and the host was telling them that they had a big old space for the thing, and they could put the runway this place. And she was saying, "See, you have all this big old open space right here, and then you have this little door that you can open up and be a little you could open up, and there's a little space up in there." And she said, "Oh yeah, yeah." She said, and then that's what she said. Well, if you don't want to do it like that, she said, well, if we have to knock out, if we have to knock out something to make more room for the guests and stuff, well, maybe we won't have a runway. And then Rohan looked at her funny and she said, well, okay. And then so they both liked the venue. And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene was with Kandi and her mom talking about Kandi took her mom to lunch, and then she told her mom that her and Todd had been talking about estate planning, doing estate planning. And she was saying, well, she said, we got an individual estate, and we got a joint estate. And then so Mama Joyce was saying, well, Kandi, you need to you need to worry more about Riley. Make sure Riley gonna get us the right. She said, "Yeah, I'll make sure Riley gonna get us stuff." But she said, "Well, what it is, with the joint estate, Todd got his own stuff, and I got my own stuff, but we got a joint estate too, and with the joint estate." And then Mama Joyce said, "Well, who gonna be over the joint estate?" She said, "Well, Don Juan, and Todd." She said, "Todd." She said, it should be done one and me, should be done one and me. And she and then Kandi said, well, what about Blaze and Ace? Blaze and Ace, those are Todd kids. And I said, what kind of mess is this? Those are Kandi and Todd kids. Even though it was through surrogate and stuff, those still Todd and Candy's kids. And then so Kandi asked her Mama George, she said, who do you want to be over the trust? She said, well, me and Don Juan could be. And then Kandi said, well, what I wanted, I was gonna be, it was gonna be what you call, cause she was saying, well, what it is, you and Todd gonna be able to get along and stuff. And then Mama Joyce didn't say nothing. She said, cause I want you and Todd to get along. I don't want you to get Todd. She didn't say nothing. And then it switched to the next scene, and the next scene is when Tyrone showed up to the event, and what you call was getting ready, and he tried to apologize to Sheree, and Sheree was telling him that she has a fashion show to do and she ain't got time to talk to him, and he might as well go ahead on and stuff. So he left the first time, and then after that it switched to Kenya. It switched to Kenya getting ready and stuff for her grand opening of Kenya Hair Care. And first, Kandi was the first one to show up to support Kenya, and then Drew, and then Sonia. And so Kenya said she was so glad that all of them came to support her, and she was glad. And then Kenya said that she having her hair care products in over 5,000 CVS stores, and she hugged a man from the CVS pharmacy. I think it was the lead manager, or lead, or CEO, or something. Over the regional areas, and so they did the cutting ribbon, and they did the cutting ribbon, and they kind of talked to the side after the cutting ribbon and stuff. And so Kandi said, "Well, do anybody know how Sheree's show is going and everything going on?" And then Kenya chimed in and said, "Well, from what I heard, Sheree said that she got some pieces. She only got 5 pieces." And then Drew chimed in and said, "Well, I thought she was supposed to have at least 15." She said, "At least 15." She said, "No, Drew, at least 20. At least 22." And she said she only got 5, and she wanted 22. She said, "Yeah." She said, "Ooh, that's a long way from being that." And then so Sonia said, "Yeah." And then after that, Kenya say, "Well, you gotta have at least 15 items, or 15 pieces to have a fashion show." She said, "I hope she can get the other ones in time, cause if not, it might not be a fashion show." Drew chimed in and said, "I hope it's not gonna be a party, because she don't like to pay for parties." And then they got kind of quiet a little bit, and then Kenya brought up, Kenya more hair care," and they walked down the store singing Kenya more hair care. Let me get some water and pause this video right quick. I'm back. It switched back to Marlo taking her mom shopping again for some nice necklaces and jewelry and stuff. And while she was taking her mom shopping, she FaceTimed Kandi and told Kandi that she wanted her to meet her mom. Because her mom was in town, and so she can explain what she wanted to. And then she apologized to Kandi and told Kandi that she was sorry for what she said about Todd and Mama Joyce and stuff like that, and the stuff that she said about her in Jamaica. And so she wanted Kandi to come over to meet her mom, and Kandi decided to come over to meet her mom. So Kandi and Marlo met for lunch at this restaurant. And then Marlo, before Kandi got there, Marlo asked her mom, what did she like, or did she like that necklace? And she said she liked that necklace. And then she told her mom that she really hurted her when she left her and abandoned her. And then Marlo's mom said, "Well, even when I did leave you, I always came back. I always came back." And Marlo said, "But I still need my mom." And then Marlo's mom said, "Well, you hurted me too." And then Marlo said, "Well, how I hurt you?" She said, "You hurt me when you kicked me out of the house. When you kicked me out of the house." And then Marlo said in her confessional that her mom was selling drugs out the house and bringing drug dealers in there, and she couldn't have that because Michael and William was staying there too, and she bought that house so Michael and William could have some place to stay, because her sister, had a mental problem. She was all out there too. And so Marlo's mom said, "Well, I was young, and I was doing my thing, and I was on them drugs and stuff." And then her and Marlo was finna start arguing, and Kandi walked in, and Kandi said, "Oh, how y'all doing?" She said, "Mom, this is Kandi." And Kandi said, "How you doing?" And Kandi said, "It was nice to meet you." And then after that, Marlo's mom was saying the reason why she wasn't there for Marlo, because she was on drugs and stuff herself. And she was saying her mama had her at a young age, and she didn't know how to take care of her. and her. So when she had Marlo, that meant she didn't know how to take Marlo either. So Marlo's mom was saying that it was kind of like a generational thing where her mom was on drugs and all out there, and then when she had Marlo, she did the exact same thing that her mama did to her. So it was a lot of trauma. And in her confessional, Kandi said she was so happy that she got Mama Joyce. She said Mama Joyce might have her ways on her, but she glad she got Mama Joyce. And then after that, after that it switched to the next scene, and the next scene is when the next scene was the day of the thing, and all the ladies were getting ready. The first they showed Kandi getting her makeup and stuff ready, and then they showed Kenya picking out dresses and stuff. And Kenya was telling Brooklyn that she going to a party, and Brooklyn said, "Can I come too?" And she told Brooklyn, "No, you can't come, Brooklyn. This party is for adults. Which dress you want me to see?" And she said, "Well, I like that dress. Can I wear it?" He said, "No, you too little for this dress, Brooklyn." That was such a cute little moment. And Brooklyn picked out that nice shimmery dress that Kenya had on. But I think when Kenya was looking at the dress, I think the dress was either like a reddish brown or a brown color, but the dress she actually wore was like silver. But anyway, back to the second part of the show. Sheree was in there getting ready and putting on her makeup and stuff like that. And then so here come Tyrone again for the second time. Walked up and that came up with some flowers and stuff. And Sheree said, "I ain't got time for you, Tyrone. I'm trying to get my show on. I'm trying to get my show on." And Stevie said, "Well, I'm sorry about it." She said, "You should apologize to me." He said, "Why should I apologize?" She said, "Cause you stood me up and you ghosted me and had me waiting in there in Philadelphia, all of my stuff." He said, "You already knew what was going on. You already knew what was going on. You already knew I had my ankle bracelet on. I was on parole, and I couldn't I couldn't film." And then Sheree said in a confessional, the reason why he didn't show up because he had been wanting to get on TV and do this and that. And what it was, he had to get some papers signed, and she didn't sign the papers. And then it went back to the show part. And then Sheree was asking, was everything ready? And then Rohan, the fashion coordinator, asked Sheree, did she have all the pieces? And Sheree said, "No, I don't have all the pieces yet. I only got 10 pieces." And then she said, "Ron, we need at least 12 to 14 for a show." She said, "Yeah." She said, "Sheree, could you postpone it a little bit, and they'll give us a little leeway?" And so she said, "Okay, I'll postpone it." And next thing you know, Sheree said in the confessional that she got all 24 of the items that she ordered, but it came in at 2 o'clock that morning, which was the day of the show. So they had to hurry up and get everything out. So they was getting everything out, and then next thing you know, everybody was waiting for the fashion show. All the girls showed up. Dwight showed up. Some of the other girls from other housewives shows showed up. The fashion show was like 2 hours late, and then the next thing you know, the fashion show happened, and all the girls were excited about the fashion show. She by Sheree, and that was the end of the show. This is A. Wesley. That ain't even tells it like a Ti is. I am out.